Alright, welcome to the Ultra Premier Cup Charizard guide with Dragon Breath. Alright, so Premier Cup's kind of different. I would say Charizard has better use in Open Ultra, however, it's just interesting to take a look at that Ultra Premier can be really good. So let's take a look and see what happens. Now the problem with Ultra Premier Cup is Charizard has like really balanced stats, high attack. The Fire Spin variation is actually really strong, and it does really well in Go Battle League for Ultra Premier Cup. However, let's see if the Dragon Breath version does well. Now, the problem with Charizard and Premier Cup is there's a lot of things that run around that it's weak against. For example, Smackdown Crystals, Smackdown, Smack it down, Smackdown. You also have those Volt Switch, those Amphiroses with Volt Switch that come around and run rampant. You also have Empoleons and Swamperts that are pretty popular in Ultra Premier Cup as well. Basically, a lot of Charizard's weaknesses run rampant, but despite that, it's able to work around it, and it's still actually like a very good mod in Ultra Premier. As you see a ton of resistances, you do resist the Mega Horns. Meganium's got nothing on you. Those Frenzy Plants from Venusaur, they all hurt, but not as much as you think. You resist the Charmers, the Fighters, Mirror Match, which is with Charizard with Fire Spin, those Drill Run users, and also if you're seeing an Iron Head Scizor, that doesn't hurt a lot, and those Bullet Punches are resisted. I'm not going to go too much about like the whole like how much it's costly. It's Triple Dust for Community Day, and Charmander is coming out, so it's very likely you have one built or you're looking to build one from Ultra Premier, and we're just going to take a look just how good Charizard is with Dragon Breath for Ultra Premier Cup. Alright, so in Ultra Premier, Charizard with Dragon Breath actually isn't in the PvPoke rankings. As you see, Fire Spin's actually the recommended one. Now, what this means is that if we go to the multi-battle, basically Charizard with Dragon Breath just doesn't do enough, doesn't have enough muscle to like tackle on the meta. So if you take a look, if we go to Ultra, we go to multi, and then you go against like, this is just overall Ultra League, but if you take a look, let's say the 2 Shield, give it Dragon Breath. As you see in Open Ultra, it has 69% in the lead. But that's regular Ultra League. So if we do Premier Cup, it's not as great according to the rankings. So we're gonna take a look on I think the Matrix is gonna be a lot more accurate to display just where Charizard truly belongs as far as like Open Ultra League. Because as you see here, the Fire Spin one is what takes the cake. Let's see where Dragon Breath ranks. Alright, now here's the Matrix. We got Dragon Breath, Charizard, also the Shadow version. We're looking at both variants. For example, the Blast Bird, and if you don't want to use your Elite TM, the Overheat version. So let's see with the Shadow regular version, along with the Premier Cup meta, let's see where they rank. And as you see here, Charizard with Dragon Breath actually beats Abomasnow. And it also beats the Shadow. It's kind of, as you see, the Shadow version beats Blaziken, so it's kind of weird. I would definitely take a look at it. Let's see. So you beat it straight Dragon Claw. So the good thing is that you can beat Obama. So you barely beat it, but you'll beat it with Charizard, regular Charizard, straight Dragon Claw. So that's if you see Abomasnow in the lead. This is the 2 Shield scenario. So this is like this is the lead scenario. And in the lead, Charizard beats its Fire Spin cousin. It also beats Clefable. Now this is a big one. Dragonite is actually in the lead. You actually see some like a lot of Dragonites in like the lead or the closer. So just to keep in mind, you do beat Dragonite in 2 Shield. So just keep that in mind. And you beat the Shadow one as well. You beat Excavalier. You're going to lose hard against Empoleon, so try to stay away from Empoleon. You actually lose against Empoleon against like all shield scenarios, so like be careful. Make sure you run from Empoleon if you see it. You beat Excavalier. You beat Kingdra. You beat Shadow Champ. You lose against the regular one though, but the Shadow does flip this matchup. I'm guessing the damage, it's just because of the damage. As you see here, if you call the cross chop bait, I think it's okay. So if you have, as long as you shield, if you could shield Rock Slide, you win the matchup with Machamp. So you can actually flip Machamp. So don't keep that in mind. And Machamp's a pretty popular lead, so keep that in mind. If you could shield the Rock Slide, you win. You beat Amok, you lose against Obscure, unfortunately, and Scizor. I'm guessing it's just because you get outsped and it does resist your damage. And at the same time, Obscure with Night Slash, especially if it procs, is just really oppressive. As you see here, no boosting, it can beat you just going straight Night Slash. So just be careful of Obstagoon, even though you resist the counters. You beat Slowbro, you beat Snorlax in the 2 shield, and you beat Togekiss, Toxtricity, Venusaur. So all these are really relevant. You could even beat, well, obviously you're going to be Venusaur, but you still lose against things like Tangrowth, Swampert. Now you lose against Tangrowth just because of Rock Slide. Rock Slide will, like, you literally get just, it can literally just Rock Slide you to death. As you see here, bait with Rock Slide, bait with Rock Slide, bait with Rock Slide. Rock Slide does 149, so it does your entire, so literally one Rock Slide just eats you to oblivion, so just be careful that in the 2s. Other than that, the problem, it looks like to be here, Charizard with Dragon Breath in Premier Cup, it's kind of like 50-50. You lose against popular leads, and you do win against, it's like 50-50 as far as like the league goes. You have strong matchups against a lot of popular meta, but you can still lose against, like, you can still lose, for example, like Ampharos, etc. I believe Fire Spin does flip some, for example, like Shadow Exeggutor, I'm pretty sure Fire Spin does some damage there, but like, as you see, Dragon Breath, and I'm pretty sure Fire Spin does flip like some matchups, but as you see, it's like 50-50. So you'll be half of the strongest meta, and you'll lose against the other half, which is it's okay. Like, it's like 50, like I said, 50-50. In the 1 shield, things kind of change. You do lose against Bama. You beat everything you usually beat, except you do beat Exeggutor Shadow in the 1 shield. I'm guessing you bait and then you Blast Burn into Oblivion. You also beat Galade. So you'll beat Galade, or whatever, Galade. You'll still lose against Lapras. You'll also lose against Machamp this time around because Machamp will be able to just bait your shield and then just wreck your soul. I think it can even go straight Rock Slide and then just take you out that way. So if it just goes straight Rock Slide, I believe in the 1 shield it does kill you. Yes, it could just go straight Rock Slide. So you do lose against Machamp convincingly in the 1s. You're going to lose against Zone, but you beat Obstagoon now. You also beat Scizor in the 1s. You lose against Toxic are the 1s, but you beat Togekiss and Venusaur still. So it's like the same thing. Like Tangrowth, you lose against Tangrowth, you lose against Swampert, Magnezone, Machamp, Lapras. So Gengar, Empoleon, Drifblim. So it's stronger in the 1 shield, but I'd say like more of like a 60-40. So kind of like you 60% you'll beat like some meta matchups, 40% you won't. So it looks like to be a lot healthier in the 1 shield than the 2 shield, because in the 1 shield you actually win more matchups. In the no shield, you beat both versions of Abomasnow. You beat Blaziken, Charizard. Of course, it has to be Fire Spin. If it's the mirror, then it's gonna be weird. You'll lose against Clefable because you get Charmed Down, because it does resist Dragon Breath. So just keep that in mind. You need some chip damage to flip that matchup against Clefable. As you see here, you go for the Blast Burn, you go for the Dragon Claw, and it lives with 1 HP. So make sure you have a little bit of chip damage on Clefable. You only lose hard against Empoleon, Galad Shadow, Kingdra, Lapras, both versions of Machamps. Magnezone just eats you with Wild Charge. You lose against Slowbro this time around. You also lose against Swampert, and you lose against Togekiss. So it looks like in the no-shield, a lot of matchups are flipped. So Charizard's best position is to probably be in the 1 shield or be up a shield. Because as you see here, the no-shield, it's like a 50-50 scenario. You actually lose a lot of matchups in the no-shield. Yeah, you actually lose a lot of like relevant matchups in the no-shield. So try to avoid not having any shields. Now, being up a shield, you actually dominate the entire meta except Empoleon and Lapras. So you'll actually beat the entire meta up a shield. So this is where Charizard in Ultra, not only Open Ultra, but Ultra Premier shines, is with shield advantage. Charizard operates best with shields. So that's to keep in mind. If you have it in even scenarios, it's kind of risky. And even up to, but just be careful. And in 2 shields, you will still lose against Empoleon. You beat everything but Empoleon. Just keep that in mind. So, like I said, if you see Empoleon, run. Unless you did some like chip damage, then you could probably beat it. Alright, so in the 2-1s, this is what we get. As you see, compared to the like 0 shield scenario, it's kind of, things do flip. For example, you'll lose against Ampharos, you'll lose against Shadow Bama, but you lose against Empoleon, but you do beat everything else. So just keep that in mind. In the 2-1s, you'll lose against Abomasnow and Ampharos. Other than that, you beat everything else. Except, I mean, Empoleon too, but as you see here, Ampharos, Abomasnow, Empoleon. So 3 out of the meta, as long as if you're with shield advantage, you do really well. Now, you do lose against Shadow Galade if you have the Shadow Charizard variation, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. So don't worry about the Shadow Charizard too much. If you're in the 2-to-1s, I would as long if because this one's the overheat. So as long as you have Blast Burn, you should generally beat most of everything. So as you see, the Blast Burn variation. So like I said, Empoleon, just a few like weird, like few random matchups here and there. Just take a look at it. So in summary, I mean, I want to be really like I want to be like really optimistic, but this is why. So I give it a 6 out of 10 for sure. 6 out of 10 because Charizard with Fire Dragon Breath, it doesn't get stab, and if it doesn't rank on PV Poke, then that means it's just not good enough to like actually be like heralded as worthy. For example, if I just you'll see if I run the 2 shield and I do Premier Cup meta, here's what happens. There's Fire Spin, there's Dragon Breath. So we're gonna run the same thing in the Ultra League. So Fire Spin does flip matchups. As you see here, see how many the most notable matchup I think you flip with Fire Spin is probably Dragonite. As you see here, with as you see here, the Fire Spin variation does flip a lot of matchups. You flip Escavalier, you flip Exeggutor, like, this is the most notable one, like I said, Dragonite. The fact that you beat Dragonite, that's the most notable matchup. And for Shadow Chap, other than that, regular Charizard, as you see, it flips a lot of, like, key matchups. For example, against Magnezone, Amok, Obstagoon, those are very popular picks in the lead. You also you could farm down a Scizor if you wanted to, like with shields, you could farm down. You beat Snorlax, you beat both versions of Snorlax, you even beat Tangrowth, and it's just like it's like very iffy. That's the 2s. As you see, Charizard with Fire Spin, because Fire Spin gets stabbed and it technically charges faster than Dragon Breath, the only notable matchup you flip minus Fire Spin is definitely Dragonite. Now everything else, of course, it's a lot more specific, but definitely Fire Spin Charizard, it gives you that really strong, it gives you that stab, so it does give you stab, you do get same type attack bonus, and Fire Spin does generate more energy. Because of that, it's kind of weird as far as like how you should play Charizard in Premier. It does have use, but it's best with shield. Like if you watch my Ultra Open Ultra video, basically Charizard Dragon Breath's best used as long as with a shield, have shield advantage, and Charizard will wreck. But it's like, yeah, have shield advantage, Charizard will wreck. But as you see, it's just without stab, it's really specific at what Dragon Breath Charizard flips. That's why it's a 6 out of 10, because the only notable matchup you flip really hard is definitely Dragonite, which is like the old Dragonite and Kingdra. Those are the only 2. Other than that, everything else is really tricky. So Dragon Breath Charizard's really not that hard, not that easy to use. The good thing is in Premier Cup, it could probably mesh well with team. You could probably put a good Korg on it. For example, you could put Charizard with Magnezone and Oimuk, and I can see that being a good team with Dragon Breath. But like I said, if you look at some of these matchups, they're very specific at what they flip, and Fire Spin's ranked higher because of that stab damage, and the fact that and Fire Spin actually Fire Spin does yeah. Fire Spin, it's what it is. That and the mirror, those are the only 2 things to flip. You'll flip the mirror just because you resist Fire Spin. But that's what Charizard is, 6 out of 10. I'd rate it higher, but it's much better suited in Open Ultra than it is in Premier Cup. If you're using Premier Cup, there are better things to replace Charizard with. That's the analysis, you guys. I hope you have a great day. Ultra Premier Cup, like I said, Charizard, if you want to use an Ultra Premier, you can. But it's tricky to play, but it's definitely more suited in Open Ultra than it is in Ultra Premier Cup.